best in local and international news updates. This is a place where you can get the most reliable and informative news information. Links 007 TV News Report. Welcome back and thanks for joining us. This is Links 007 TV News Report. With the Debates Commission debates that took place earlier tonight, both political parties are claiming victory in the debate. The election debate on social issues start with the ruling Jamaica Labour Party Pernell Charles Jr., Kamina Johnson-Smith and Matthew Samuda facing off against the PNP Damian Crawford, Raymond Price and Sophia Fraser-Binns. It's the first of 3 debates to be held. During the debate, Damian Crawford suggests that a future PNP administration would not continue with the rural bus system as proposed by the JLP. He says that the system would only move 8,000 out of the 400,000 students who need to benefit. In a rebuttal, the JSP Pernell Charles Jr. says that the system is being funded by saving from cutting the JUTC losses. Pernell Charles Jr. further added that the government is buying 110 more new buses. However, the policy is for used buses. In the meantime, the JLP representative Matthew Samuda has slammed the PNP's commitment to environmental protection. It follows the disclosure from PNP debater Sophia Fraser-Binns that the PNP administration would make the National Environmental and Planning Agency NEPA into an independent regulator. But Matthew Samuda noted that the PNP administration pursued questionable policies, including proposing a logistics hub facility at the environmentally sensitive Goat Island. They have never demonstrated environmental leadership, he said. Both parties clash on the regulation of Jamaica's funeral home sector during tonight's social election debate. The JLP Matthew Samuda pointed to new measures implemented by the government, including a modern autopsy suit, proof of the government is advancing the regulation. But the PNP Raymond Price accused the Jamaica Labour Party of failing to implement regulations despite 9 years in office. He said a PNP administration will get that done. Links 007 TV now join the full debate in action.
Apart from that, the environment impact assessment is something that we must look at. The People's National Party is committed to ensuring that the requirement for environment impact assessment is legislated. For us in the People's National Party, we can't talk about the economic development. We cannot talk about community development unless there is the protection of the environment, and we are committed to doing that. We will do this by ensuring that communities are part of the decision-making process when it comes on to environmental issues, and that is why we are committed to signing the Escazú Agreement, which will ensure that there is access to information so people know about development or pollution in their area, that the community has an opportunity to speak and share their views, and certainly that there will be access to justice when environmental rights are breached. That is our commitment from the People's National Party, because time comes to protect the environment.
Thank you so much. Team JLP, your rebuttal.
The People's National Party has never been serious about environmental protection. In their last time at the wicket, they proposed a coal plant to generate electricity in St. Elizabeth. They proposed the development of the logistics hub in the Goat Islands, including saying only Two Little Lizard was over there by the former minister in charge. But beyond that, they have a leader who could not bring himself to vote for the plastic ban when the matter came to the Senate. They have never demonstrated environmental leadership. This government has. It is why at the last time there was a serious industrial incident in the Rio Cobre, this government drew down on a $117 million bond, the single largest consequence for environmental breach in the country's history. It is why this government also passed recent amendments to the NRCA Act that allowed body corporates to be charged upwards of $10 million at the judge's discretion. This government is serious about the environment. We have demonstrated so internationally, and it is why we will continue to lead with new elements of the plastic ban, with amendments to WLPA, with accession to the SPA protocol, and it is why we are recognized as an environmental leader globally.
So we're just getting started. It's now time for a short break, but there will be more when we return.
The general elections debates are presented by the Jamaica Debates Commission. Watch, listen, decide, vote.
Tomorrow's success will depend on the decisions we make today. At the Scotia Jamaica Foundation, supporting the well-being of our nation is more than a choice. It's a heartfelt promise to the communities we serve. By empowering individuals and organizations, we are revitalizing communities and creating a more sustainable world for every future.
When you want the food shell and make the rice well, just give me the candle. Anytime of the day, night as well, just give me.
The following is paid for by the People's National Party.
For every future.
Keisha,
What?
why am I never saying at the exam?
We never have enough money to pay the school fees, and I couldn't do it.
Hold on, Keisha, hold on.
What?
So you know hear about the PNP first in the family program?
No? What else?
It's a program where if you're the first in your family, if you attend college or university, you get a scholarship for funded.
But me already there college, that never
why am I
to do
never
with
saying at the
me.
exam? Keisha, calm down. Hold on. It no matter if you're already in college or if you just got start, you can still get it.
So does that mean that my little brother get to say that I made it?
Definitely. You're going to be the first, but you definitely won't be the last.
That sounds fun.
Sounds good. Keisha, that sounds great. Where's man?
It sounds like time come for sure.
Education is the bridge between struggle and opportunity. It is how we lift families and grow a modern economy.
The following is paid for by the People's National Party.
Yeah, every month my parent and still no one nothing, bro.
So I rate the PNP plan, you know.
Oh, the plan to remove the land pass from the low income house there?
Yeah, man, the same plan that me G. House price a drop, both are ground.
Yo, I mean, many sheep are the seniors enough.
We have some general 50,000 new low income houses in the first term.
But my work informal, bro. I don't feel that you work for me.
General, them set the plan just for you. When they are taxi driver or barber like yourself, 6 months rent will qualify you for your mortgage.
Eh?
Yeah,
Yo,
man.
that big.
Yeah, man, plus young people are trying to get a house for the first time. First time owners, 45 and under. I will get 500,000 grand towards the housing deposit. How much youth can use that to walk in a house?
45. That means you own no house now.
Well on there, brown man, how much? True that.
The proceeding was paid for by the People's National Party. The following is paid for by the People's National Party.
If you work long hours to keep Jamaica running, you deserve to take home every cent you earn. For too long, our police officers, firefighters, security guards, and hospitality workers have been taxed on their overtime and gratuity. That ends with the next PNP government. We will remove taxes from overtime pay and service charges. Because if you give more, you should keep more. You put in the extra work. You go beyond the call of duty. Your sacrifice should be rewarded, not taxed. It is time for fairness. It is time for respect. Jamaica, time come for a better life.
The proceeding was paid for by the People's National Party. The following is paid for by the People's National Party.
Prematurity is a medical condition, not a cause of death. I am not speaking to you as just a politician, not as a PNP, not as a doctor, but as a Jamaican. We must put Jamaicans first. We must modernize hospitals and clinics, expand primary care, train and keep more nurses and doctors, strengthen maternal and child health, and expand mental health services in every parish. This is about more than healthcare. It is about life, dignity, and hope.
Issues debate presented by the Jamaica Debates Commission. We invite you, the public, to send us your questions via direct message on Instagram, Facebook and TikTok to Jamaica Debates. Now we invite Romardo Lyons to begin this segment with a question for Team PNP.
Last year, just a little over 1,000 councillors were employed within the public school system. In some cases, one councillor served up to 3 schools. That's one individual to thousands of students. Your 2025 manifesto promises a Jamaican education system that is globally competitive. How do you plan to fix the student-councillor ratio?
Thank you very much for the question. Indeed, it is our intention to ensure that we have an improved education system. The current reality is that it is moving in the wrong direction. In 2015, literacy in Jamaica was 84%. Currently, it's 65%. Indeed, in 2015, 5 subjects, including math and English, was 28%. Currently, it is 19%. In fact, to use mathematics, which the government has recently celebrated, after last year, the minister indicated that it was a critical problem. This year, with much hoopla and celebration, only 9 dege more children passed mathematics. And they said it was a great occurrence. The People's National Party will accept and acknowledge where we are, because in 2015, 14,000 Jamaican children passed mathematics, and in 2025, only 7,826 Jamaican children passed mathematics. This is a part of the malaise that is happening within the education system. What we will do in particular as it relates to guidance counseling is to incorporate and hire more guidance counselors, but also to form the Department of Socialization to utilize not only the guidance counselors, the deans of disciplines, and also the persons who are most familiar with the children, which would be the form teachers. That will expand the number of adults to children ratio and have the guidance counselor be informed by those who are most related to the students.
Team JLP, your rebuttal.
The Jamaica Labour Party believes in our children, and it believes in their social well-being, their mental health, and their support to ensure that they will be their best selves and then become the best productive citizens of Jamaica. We certainly recognize that education is not where it needs to be, and that's why we commissioned the Education Transformation Commission led by Orlando Patterson. We have set up a plan. We have 30% in. We know what's not measured does not get done. The PNP talks about transformation, but they have never transformed anything in this country. We will ensure under a trend program with more involved parents, more empowered teachers, more involved students, that our students succeed.
Thank you so much. Our next question comes from Natalie, and it is for Team JLP.
As Jamaica seeks to harness the economic potential of large-scale entertainment events, what is your strategy to ensure that these opportunities are balanced with the fundamental rights of motorists and residents to freely move without undue disruption to their lives?
It's no secret that urban planning was lacking for the last 50 years. It's no secret that the heartbeat of Jamaica has been its cultural and entertainment industries. It's no secret that under the leadership of Olivia Babsy-Grange, Jamaica has grown from strength to strength in harnessing the power of these awesome industries. In the next term of government, the JLP will ensure that all urban planning for our town centres contemplates and plans for entertainment zones. We have also moved rapidly to ensure we have reserved space for 24-hour event zones. But that is but one part of the parcel. The next component also has to be how you encourage the human capital. But encouraging the human capital has to create the structures that allows young people to see a total future in it. It is why we're proud of the pension scheme that has been introduced for our entertainers, because our young people now know that there is indeed a future. But beyond that, we have structured our tax regimes in a manner that will encourage significant investment in the entertainment sector. We have created a space where those who wish to invest in movies, those who wish to invest in sound, will indeed come to Jamaica. we're not going to throw new funds that we know will indeed trigger new taxes, because that indeed has been the hallmark of the PNP, new taxes.
Thank you so much, Team JLP. Team PNP, your rebuttal.
Yes, it is no doubt that the orange economy is called orange for a reason. The People's National Party has been central to the development of entertainment in this country. Indeed, the tools of trade was introduced by the People's National Party for the extension of benefits to the entertainment industry, so that they too could act as if the manufacturing, farming and other industries in the importation of their inputs. In addition, it seems that the taxes are not the only things that are being stolen by the Jamaica Labour Party, because the idea for the entertainment zone originated with the People's National Party. What is crazy is that the Jamaica Labour Party believes that the solution is in one single venue, and one single venue cannot solve a problem that exists throughout the entire country. We will ensure appropriate zones and community zones.
Thank you so much, Mr. Crawford. And now, before we go to our social media, Natalie has indicated that she would like to use her first of 2 follow-up questions so that our viewers understand the process. Both questioners have the ability, or they can ask 2 follow-up questions, and both teams have 45 seconds within which to answer the question. Natalie, go ahead.
So I wanted to hear more about the balancing of how do you protect the motorists and the residents who have undue delays and been stuck in traffic for hours in the interim until those zones are designated up and running?
Well, obviously the zones are indeed the long-term strategy, but in the interim we'll bring all stakeholders together, being the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the municipalities and the promoters themselves, to ensure that there's adequate parking. We would have instituted many park and ride events for national events, which would have seen significant reductions in traffic. But just to note, the idea for the entertainment zone did not originate with the PNP. It actually originated with Edward Philip George Siaga. And it is this party that has had the strongest relationship with the cultural industries and has put its money by way of investment into these industries. But to be clear, the infrastructure that is required is being invested in by this administration in multiple venues.
Thank you so much, Mr. Samuda. Thank you so much. Team PNP, your 45 seconds rebuttal.
This sounds like the same claim that Edward Siaga also was the originator for the idea of Portmore. That too was a lie. However, what we have recognized is that we can separate the people from the events by partnering with agro-parks to have a section within agro-parks reserved for what we call party town, multi-zones, multi-venue zones that persons can gravitate to and know where entertainment activities are. What we have also recognized is the bias within the Jamaica Labour Party of how entertainment is treated, because large events such as Sumfest has never obeyed the Noise Abatement Act, but all the round robins must obey the Noise Abatement Act. We will ensure equity.
Live the island dream. It's your chance to be one of over 100 winners in the Buster Turbo and
regardless if you're large or small.
Thank you so much, Mr. Crawford. We now go to social media. Amoy has a question and she will direct it to the respective team.
All right, so to revisit the topic of education, Alpha Media on Instagram is asking, COVID-19 exposed deep gaps in digital access. What are your concrete plans to ensure every Jamaican student has access to reliable internet and digital devices?
And that question goes to Team PNP.
Thank you very much. It is important at this point that we expose what some of the ridiculous approaches have been from the Jamaica Labour Party. They indicate that they have been doing extensive investments in schools. However, with the schools in need of approximately 1,000 students needing up to 210 megabytes, the highest capacity of those providers is 35 megabytes. Some of those contracts that have been given are incapable to reach even 15 megabytes so that they can officially and can appropriately be utilized. Indeed, having invested over $2 billion in e-books, the newspaper reported that many teachers indicated that the inability to access them in their classes made the e-books ineffective and inefficient. What the People's National Party will do, first of all, is to build out the last mile of fiber so that more persons in the rural spaces can access. Additionally, we understand the pairing of energy with the internet, and by extension, we will also build out the last mile for electricity access using solar implementation. We will use as a school multiplier, force multiplier, teacher multiplier, impact multiplier, the technology through AI, in particular for helping teachers with marking, helping teachers with the lesson planning, and also helping students to access information in appropriate and effective way. So the People's National Party will embrace technology in our schools and expand the reach so that our students can benefit.
Thank you so much, Mr. Crawford. Team JLP, your 45-second rebuttal. Your 1 minute 30 rebuttal.
The PNP talks a good talk about technology in schools, but it is the Jamaica Labour Party, through its National Broadband Initiative, that has ensured that more than 700 schools are connected with broadband. And we've made sure that not only are our children at school connected, but we have rolled out more than 380 free public Wi-Fi hotspots that make sure that when children leave school, they're still able to be connected as our teachers. We've handed out more than 200,000 tablets. We've trained our teachers and given them vouchers for tablets and laptops in particular. We're providing digital equipment for classrooms. We're ensuring we've completed an audit of all our labs to ensure that they're provided for with the best technology in rural and urban. So from St. Thomas to Hanover, all our children must have access to the best technology, and location should not determine your education. The Jamaica Labour Party is uplifting education in every corner of Jamaica, and we're continuing to do what the PNP likes to talk about. We are also ensuring that we will provide, I must speak to the matter of the creative villages, that we will be providing 100 of them in our next administration, should the public trust us. We will also be training through our Creative and Cultural Institute, and we will be also providing for creative special economic zones that will create the next generation of jobs.
Thank you so much, Ms. Johnson-Smith. Our next question, it comes from Romardo, and it goes to Team PNP.
In 2022, the Jamaica Observer exposed the harsh exploitative conditions under which many call center workers work. If elected, what will you do to fix these issues that contradict labor laws in the BPO sector?
You know, the start of that question is an acknowledgement that the provision of modern access to technology, including the internet, including broadband, including fiber optics, began with the liberalization of the telecommunications sector when Philip Paulwell was a minister with responsibility. My opponents opposite seem to be having an issue putting the correct time frame to the responses. In other words, a seeming disconnect with reality. With respect to the BPO sector, one of the most recent industries facilitated by the technological advancement, there are serious concerns with respect to conditions of work, pay, time off, even sick leave, things that the Jamaican workplace has considered for many years to be a right. These BPO operators, the contractors, are not necessarily from the Jamaican space. So more integration has to be done so that they understand what our labor laws are and what the members of the Jamaican workforce have come to expect, including things such as maternity leave with pay and equal work for women. In the PNP administration led by Mark Golding, we will begin that education process, that integration process, and allow our partners in the BPO to understand the nuances.
Mr. Price. Thank you so much, Mr. Price. Team JLP, your 45-second rebuttal.
Thank you. The BPO sector, like the tourism sector, is offering a significant opportunity for many of our entry-level youngsters to have good jobs, jobs that will allow them to be able to get not just revenue but work experience. And it's important to know that the government not only sees the expansion in the BPO sector, but through the inspectorate at the Ministry of Labour, we ensure to speak to employers and employees and to monitor, to make sure that where there are any abuses, we take the necessary steps immediately, whether it is to carry them to court or whether it is to bring to constructive social dialogue.
Thank you very much, Mr. Charles Jr. We're moving on. Natalie has the next question, and it is to Team JLP.
Jamaicans seeking care at public hospitals continue to face long lines, shortage of medical staff, overcrowding with the difficulty getting a bed if admitted, and long waits for clinic appointments. What is it going to require to improve patient care at public hospitals and other healthcare facilities?
Let me say this. The government takes it very seriously in terms of improving the health infrastructure. We have upgraded 138 of our health centers. We have rebuilt and restructured key hospitals and are starting to construct the regional children and adolescent hospital. And most importantly, in addition to the health infrastructure development, we are and have created 3,000 positions for medical professionals with 1,000 community aids and 600 scholarships, which means not only better infrastructure for health, but better staffing of professionals who will be able to provide better service to the patients in Jamaica. We take this very seriously, and that is why under this government we have seen where not only the 138 health centers and the key hospitals, but the expansion of NHF, the expansion of the hours and services, all of these providing a comprehensive delivery of service for the people of Jamaica.
It's important to remember that the Jamaica Labour Party inherited a health sector in absolute crisis, where their own opposition spokesperson said that surgeons had to be wearing garbage bags to operate.
Thank you so much, Ms. Kamina Johnson-Smith, PNP, your 45-second rebuttal.
If there's any evidence of the Jamaica Labour Party's failure, it is evident in the health system. Indeed, Cornwall Regional is an excellent example, having moved from $2 billion all the way to $22 billion and still not complete. Mammograms in our public sector is only 2 mammograms in our public sector. And the #1 hospitals in Jamaica, also including our Children's Hospital, does not have an MRI or a CT scan available. Indeed, the number of children that has died neonatals has gone up to 246 over the last 2 years.
The better proof of it is the absence of the Minister of Health at a social issues debate where he should have answered to his appalling track record. He's now been there over the economic debate.
Thank you so much, Mr. Price. We take a question now from our social media editor, Amoy.
Thanks, Janella. Well, this question comes from Nita's Funeral Home. They're asking, funeral homes contribute significantly to Jamaica's economy, yet the industry remains largely under-regulated and under-supported. How do you plan to formalize the industry, ensure proper insurance options for families, and use the sector's contributions to expand opportunities such as national scholarships for Jamaicans?
Okay, just to explain to our viewers, both teams have equal times to respond to the social media questions. Team PNP, you go first.
The issue with the under-regulation of the funeral home sector first came to light during the advance of the COVID pandemic, when there was a lot of misinformation and a lack of information as to whether or not post-mortem there could be a transmission of the COVID virus. As a matter of fact, that process opened the potential, the possibility for any administration in office to have formalized and put in place structures and protocols that would have given ease to the professionals working in the industry and the family members of the deceased. What now needs to happen is for a recognition that this is a sector that is a critical part of the Jamaican social space, an adjunct, if you will, of public health. And the utter absence of any form of regulation, despite 9 years of unbroken representation by the Jamaica Labour Party as the head of government is yet another indication of people who claim to know what they're doing, but still at the end of a 9th year, going into a 10th year, are having difficulties with a manifesto to explain not only what they've done in the past, but what they intend to do in the future. When PNP is in office, we can guarantee to the public that those regulations will be in place.
Okay, Team JLP, your response?
The issue with the lack of regulation in the funeral home sector came to public attention in 2014 when the funeral homes with contracts with the government for pauper's burials were not being paid. That is when the issue came to mind, or rather came to public attention. The reality is the sector is indeed lacking sufficient regulation. However, we have moved forward to bring the Ministry of National Security and indeed the Ministry of Health to form a working group to address this very issue. And there are many elements to it. One such element is the fact that the industry was operating without a proper public autopsy suite. This government, under Horace Chan's leadership at the Ministry of National Security, built the first public autopsy suite at a cost of $700 million, clearing one element that creates a significant backlog in this area. But lest we forget, the PNP has no credibility in the management of the health sector. Under Fenton Ferguson, every single Jamaican watching this debate tonight suffered the effects of Chick V. We suffered the effects of his failure to deal with vector management. Lest we forget that the then leader of the JMDA, your current spokesperson of the ministry related to health, said it was the worst management he had seen. He said doctors were using garbage bags. So people died because of the PNP's failure. Lest we forget.
Thank you so much, Mr. Samuda. It's now time for another break, but we will have more when we return.
The general elections debates are presented by the Jamaica Debates Commission. Watch, listen, decide, vote.
The following is paid for by the People's National Party.
Keisha,
What?
why am I never saying at the exam?
I never have enough money to pay the school fees, so I just couldn't do the exam.
Hold on, Keisha, hold on.
What?
Saying I hear about the PNP First in the Family program.
No, what that?
It's a program where if you're the first in your family, if you attend college or university, you get a scholarship for funded.
But me already there college, that have nothing to do with me.
Keisha, calm down.
Yes.
Hold on. It no matter if you're already in college or if you just got start, you can still get it.
So does that mean that my little brother get to say that I made it?
Definitely. You're gonna be the first, but you definitely won't be the last.
That sounds fun.
Sounds good. Keisha, that sounds great. What is it, man?
It sounds like time come for sure.
Education is the bridge between struggle and opportunity. It is how we lift families and grow a modern economy.
The following is paid for by the People's National Party.
Yeah, every month my parent and still no one nothing, bro.
Yeah, that's why I rate the PNP plan, you know.
Oh, the plan to remove the land pass from the low-income house there?
Yeah, man, the same plan, MG. House price are drop both are ground.
Yo, I mean, many people are serious enough.
We have some general 50,000 new low-income houses in the first term.
But my work informal, bro. I don't feel that will work for me.
General, them set the plan just for you. When they are taxi driver or barber like yourself, 6 months in to qualify you for your mortgage.
Yeah,
man.
that big.
Yeah, man, plus young people are trying to get a house for the first time. First time owners, 45 and under. I will get 500,000 grand towards the housing deposit. How much you can use it to walk in our house?
45. That means you can't own no house now.
What on it? Brown man, how much? True that.
The proceeding was paid for by the People's National Party. The following is paid for by the People's National Party.
If you work long hours to keep Jamaica running, you deserve to take home every cent you earn. For too long, our police officers, firefighters, security guards, and hospitality workers have been taxed on their overtime and gratuity. That ends with the next PNP government. We will remove taxes from overtime pay and service charges. Because if you give more, you should keep more. You put in the extra work. You go beyond the call of duty. Your sacrifice should be rewarded, not taxed. It is time for fairness. It is time for respect. Jamaica, time come for a better life. If you work long hours,
the proceeding was paid for by the People's National Party. The following is paid for by the People's National Party.
For too long,
Prematurity is a medical condition, not a cause of death. I am not speaking to you as just a politician, not as a PNP, not as a doctor, but as a Jamaican. We must put Jamaicans first. We must modernize hospitals and clinics, expand primary care, train and keep more nurses and doctors, strengthen maternal and child health, and expand mental health services in every parish. This is about more than health care. It is about life, dignity, and hope. Because in a new Jamaica, no mother should fear losing her baby.
Welcome back to the social issues debate presented by the Jamaica Debates Commission. We invite you, the public, to send us your questions via direct message on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok to Jamaica Debates. We now ask Natalie Campbell to start this segment with a question for Team PNP.
Good evening again. During its first few days or weeks in office.
The People's National Party, Damien, will ensure that every decision we make has the people at the center. To start that off, we will take a look at the health center. The Jamaica Labour Party will have you believe that they're serious about health. Tell that to a mother who've lost her child at the hospital. Tell that to patients who go to the hospital and can't find water in our restrooms. And you're serious about hospitals? You must be joking. The People's National Party will, prioritize our health service. The second thing that we will do is to ensure that education, that there's access to education for all our children. We will do this through the provision, Damien, of 1 meal per day for each child. But we'll also make sure that transportation, which is one of the major issues preventing our children from going to school, is dealt with. And when we're talking about transportation, we're not talking about some 10-hour bus. We're talking about transportation that is effective, reliable, and can transport our children in peace, where parents can feel comfortable.
Additionally, Sophia, we will immediately give the First in the Family Scholarship to those persons that are in school currently at the university, as long as they're the first in the family. Also, we will ensure that ownership improves by making sure that squatting communities are reviewed under the POSHA program and open all the home ownership plans to our persons through rent to own.
We will do this.
Thank you so much. JLP, your 45-second rebuttal.
That convoluted response will require a supplementary estimate being tabled in the House of Representatives for a budgetary contemplation. The PNP does not have a structured set of policies ready for Jamaica, which is why they're not ready for government. The Jamaica Labour Party, in its next term, will continue to pursue peace, productivity, and indeed prosperity. Ultimately, the Jamaican people are happy with our suite of achievements. You see, we have cut poverty, we have cut unemployment, we have grown the economy, we have invested in infrastructure, and that is why the Jamaica Labour Party will indeed be returned to government.
Thank you, Mr. Samuda. Romardo has the next question, and it will be directed to Team JLP.
Roughly 10,000 students graduate annually from Jamaica's top 4 universities. Majority are young professionals. They were taught to go to school, get subjects, go to university, and then get a job. Many follow those instructions and end up repaying student loans for years, struggling to save money. With another term, what will you do to ensure in your first year that more educated youth can have a taste of prosperity.
The Jamaica Labour Party believes in our young people, and this is why we've already reduced interest rates at Student Loan Bureau. We've removed the requirement for guarantors, again taking away the barriers. And in our next term, we'll not only institute the new policy wherein students can have access to a loan which covers not only tuition, but accommodation, books, laptops, and food, living expenses. More importantly, of course, as we touch on the issue of debt, we know that our young people sometimes get thrown a curveball by life. That's why the Jamaica Labour Party is not only going to expand the moratorium which already exists, but we will institute the student loan debt reset. Under that policy, we will be waiving for all delinquent accounts 100% of penalties, 100% of interest, 100% of insurance charges, and 50% of interest arrears, ensuring a fresh start for those who just have had life take a wrong turn. For those who are in good standing, they'll be rewarded for their responsibility and, of course, encouraged to continue in their good efforts, and they will get a credit to their account of $100,000 per account in good standing. Those who, of course, are at the cusp of closing out their accounts, we will pay up to the amount required to close. This is us not talking, but acting.
Thank
as
you
always.
so much, Ms. Kamina Johnson-Smith, PNP, your 45-second rebuttal.
The People's National Party will ensure that our young people not just dream, but have a chance of being the best they can be. So what are we going to do? One, we're going to make sure that there is $1 billion available so that they can get $500,000 towards their deposit. Secondly, what we are going to do is to have what we call a forgiveness, a graduated forgiveness of students' loan. So for every year that you work in the public service, your students' loan payment will be discounted. And we understand that sometimes you leave university and you simply just can't get a job. The present system says you must still pay your students' loan. We are saying no, an end to that.
Thank you so much.
If you haven't exercised in years, you have to start small with my beginner-friendly Tai Chi class. 3 reasons every man over 40 should...
Which will be answered first by Team JLP and then Team PNP. A reminder that both teams have the same amount of time to respond to that question. Amoy?
Thanks, Janella. This question comes from Kimmy on Instagram. There's been criticism of the government's 300% wage increase and delayed salary increase to civil servants. If selected to form the next government, how do you plan on making civil servants' salaries equally as attractive?
The Jamaica Labour Party has been responsible for the largest increase to public sector wages in the history of independent Jamaica. Do we want to be able to pay more? Absolutely. And we're committed to ensuring that we work with all stakeholders to ensure fiscal stability, to ensure the health of the economy, so all workers can be paid fairly without destabilizing the economy. We certainly are committed to engaging in fora, including the Partnership for Prosperity, as well as the negotiating mechanisms which are currently at play. We understand the concerns of cost of living, which concern each and every family, and we are committed to always doing our best within the affordability of our economy to do the best by our public servants.
No, so let's we forget. When the salaries for parliamentarians were announced, the opposition spokesperson on finance got up and said he had no objection, only to cut off at the knees by the leader of the opposition the next day. It's not the first time the leader of opposition has cut off one of his spokespersons at the knees. He has cut off Senator Crawford at the knees when he proposed an additional 2 hours for schools and an additional tax to fund education. This is a common pattern with them. But the opposition will not roll back parliamentary salaries because they support it and they sat on the commission to determine.
Thank you so much, Mr. Samuda. Team PNP, your response.
I will answer Mr. Samuda on the platform, but today I'm focusing on the people. Let us look at what happened with our teachers. The government is currently ranked by the Prime Minister and the ministers as the highest in the Caribbean. Our teachers are ranked 6th or 7th in the Caribbean. Under the People's National Party, when we did our restructuring, the teachers were placed at 80% of market. Under the JLP, when they did their restructuring, the teachers are now propped at 50% of market. Additionally, the teachers were bamboozled into believing that their allowances would have been considered. But the JLP removed all the teachers' allowances and gave them a simple raise, in some cases of 12%, while they took 300%. What is evident from how it was handled is that the JLP is not a party of equity. They didn't treat all persons in the same. And as their former Minister of Finance suggested, that if it was to keep the best, they would have to raise their salaries. No wonder we're seeing so many teachers leaving our classroom because of the inefficient treatment from the Jamaica Labour Party. Teachers, nurses and the public sector will know that they have a listening ear and a reasonable negotiator whenever we get into power. And one thing we can guarantee is that we don't believe they're worth zero, as the Jamaica Labour Party has suggested. 0% raise suggests that the teachers are worth nothing. The police are doing a wonderful job, the teachers are doing an excellent job, the nurses are doing a wonderful job, and we will ensure equity in treatment as we treat ourselves.
Thank you so much, Mr. Crawford. We're going to take another question from social media. Amoy.
This one is from Joel. Many Jamaicans are concerned about the limited access to beaches and the costs that apply to them. What measures will you put in place to ensure that Jamaicans have greater access to their beaches?
Team PNP, you get to respond to this question first.
Over the last 9 years, there have been countless situations, Miami Bay Beach, Bob Marley Beach, where Jamaicans have been denied the right of access to beaches. For us in the People's National Party, right access to beach is not an option, it is a right. And because of that, we will ensure that all Jamaicans have access to our beaches. We have done it before. In our last administration, we spent over $12 billion rehabilitating Winifred Beach, Priory Beach. We've done it already, we're going to do it again. So what are we going to do now? We are going to ensure that the provisions in the Beach Access Act come to life. And where the amendment needs to be made, we're going to do that. What we're going to do as well is going to ensure that we work with all our tourism partners, all our private investors, so they understand that access to beach is a right for all Jamaicans. Thirdly, what we will do is to ensure that we rehabilitate beaches so that persons, when they come to beach, whether they're fishermen or they come for relaxation, that they can do it in dignity. Because for the People's National Party, access to our beaches is not just something you do. It is a matter of justice, and it is a right. And we commit that we will have access to beaches.
Thank you so much. Team JLP, your response.
The Island Eyewear Back to School sale is back. From August 15 to September 15.
When the People's National Party took away Cornwall Beach from the people of St. James, they did so without a care in the world. It is this administration that built the Harmony Beach Park over Dump Beach to give the people of St. James back beach access. It is this administration that will genuinely renovate the Priory Beach in St. Ann. I'm not sure what was referred to as a renovation, because that's a joke. It is this administration that will ensure that the Padgy Beach and indeed the Boston Bay Beach in Portland will be returned to the people of Jamaica. There isn't a Beach Access Act, as was mentioned, but there is the Beach Control Act. This administration will indeed, at the first sitting of the new Parliament, table the Beach Access Policy, which will guarantee windows to the sea being maintained, corridors to the sea being a facet of development approvals, as we have recently done through NEPA with hotel approvals in Trelawney and in the Negril, where there are corridors built by the hotels to facilitate access for citizens. You see, our policy is important, but beach access cannot just be words. It has to be investment in beaches like the Harmony Beach Park. It has to be corridors to the sea, as we have indeed insisted upon through our approval process, through NEPA, in Trelawney, in Negril, and more to come.
Thank you so much, Mr. Samuda. Thank you so much. We will now take a short break and invite you to stay tuned.
The general elections debates are presented by the Jamaica Debates Commission. Watch, listen, decide, vote.
Tomorrow following is paid for by the People's National Party.
Of the new parliament, table the
Prematurity is a medical condition, not a cause of death. I am not speaking to you as just a politician, not as a PNP, not as a doctor, but as a Jamaican. We must put Jamaicans first. We must modernize hospitals and clinics, expand primary care, train and keep more nurses and doctors, strengthen maternal and child health, and expand mental health services in every parish. This is about more than healthcare. It is about life, dignity, and hope. Because in a new Jamaica, no mother should fear losing her baby or her own life, and no Jamaican should be left
The general election
Jamaica,
debates are presented by
time come
the Jamaica Debates Commission. Watch, listen,
The proceeding
decide,
was paid for by the
vote.
People's National Party. The following is paid for by the People's National Party.
In every constituency, on every issue, the People's National Party has assembled the strongest, most diverse slate of candidates in a generation. From doctors ready to heal our broken health system, to educators building a smarter Jamaica, business people growing the economy, legal minds defending justice, and community advocates speaking truth to power. This is a team chosen for competence, compassion, and commitment. Led by Mark Golding, a good man with a good plan. This is not politics as usual. This is the team to rescue Jamaica, rebuild our future, and restore pride in leadership. Jamaica, time come.
The proceeding was paid for by the People's National Party.
Crime and safety. Your future depends on the right measures for crime being put in place. And I think you're mature and smart enough to realize it's not just about police and soldiers patrolling the streets. It has to start with healing ourselves and our communities and giving our at-risk youth a second chance to become productive citizens. Many of you will know a young person that the education system failed, who, if he or she had that second chance through mentorship, training, remedial education, and job placement, could become a positive contributor to our society instead of chopping and...
Paid for by the People's National Party.
Domestic violence is higher than ever. Violent crime is fed by a general lack of moral norms, discipline, and behavioral standards in this society. We must address this. Time come to establish legislation with effective mechanisms and remedies to protect survivors. Time come to implement support centers in every parish to provide safe havens for the survivors of domestic violence and sexual assaults. Your vote matters.
Jamaican people want better.
Education. Education is the best antidote to poverty, passing from this generation to the next. Your vote can help to make tertiary education more accessible to everyone. Your vote can help eliminate the requirement of a guarantor for students to access a student loan. It can help to cap student loan payments at a manageable percentage of your actual income, so that the state, not you, the student, bears the risks of low pay or unemployment. And if you lose your job and you're unemployed, we will suspend loan payments and tack them to the back end of your loan without any penalties. That's what your vote can do. Find out everything you need to know about voting at
Back to the social issues debate presented by the Jamaica Debates Commission. We invite you, the public, to send us your questions via direct message on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok to Jamaica Debates. We invite Romardo Lyons to start this final segment with a question for Team JLP.
A digital Jamaica where technology is woven into the fabric of business and everyday activities. That's what you promised in your 2020 manifesto. But today, there are residents in Swamp Road, St. Thomas, putting phones in trees to make calls and to get reception. Why are so many Jamaicans in rural parishes still behind technologically?
That's an excellent question. much progress has been made in respect of digital transformation. The National Broadband Initiative has connected over 700 government institutions across the country and has also been seeking to connect our police stations, our courthouses, our schools and other institutions as a matter of priority as the base. We've also been seeking to encourage competition in the environment, in this sector, to ensure greater investment and greater rollout of fiber optics, of satellite technology, as well as Wi-Fi internet connections. The Jamaica Labour Party believes in technology facilitating business. It's why we ensure that now you can pay your taxes online, you can apply for your e-motor vehicle registration certificate, and in a new administration we will do even more. We will ensure that there is the task force to ensure efficiency and innovation, not only in the public sector but beyond. We will not only set up the task force, but we will allow a portal for private citizens to make suggestions with incentives and prizes to ensure that they feel a part of the process where they see that systems can be improved. The Jamaica Labour Party has already built efficiencies that have helped this economy to grow, that have helped with youth and regular unemployment, and we will do more.
Thank you so much, Team JLP, Team PNP, your 45-second rebuttal.
First, you keep mentioning about policies to make the economy grow, and after 9 years, you're still growing at under 1% per annum. The question mentioned difficulties of persons in rural Jamaica having access to telecommunications services. Perhaps because you said from St. Thomas to Hanover, what is your fundamental problem with Westmoreland and the other parishes why you think that only St. Thomas to Hanover needs quality access to broadband? But you know, the greater tragedy is that you're talking about task force for what you are going to do in the next administration. We are waiting on the task force for why you didn't get it done in the last 9 years.
Thank you so much, Mr. Price. Romardo has indicated that he would like to use one of his follow-up questions. Romardo, and just a reminder to both teams, you have 45 seconds to respond. Team JLP, you first. Romardo.
So much, Team JLP. Your government has repeatedly said that education is a priority. Now, the technological issue in the rural parishes aren't just for residents. Schools are also affected. Just this year, a smart lab was opened in St. Aloysius Primary School on Duke Street in Kingston. When will schools in rural parishes start to feel included in this technological push?
They should feel it very soon. As a matter of fact, they'll feel it in this new school year. Procurement is already underway. We not only have had new contracts engaged with contractors to roll out more connections, but we are also investing in equipment, which is already in procurement, to ensure that our labs are equipped in rural schools as well as in urban schools. We believe fundamentally in ensuring that regardless of where you live in Jamaica, you must have access to the best education, and you will have it in the next administration. As a matter of fact, starting in this year.
Get big rewards with flows, cash the ready promotion, feel the rhythm of summer with flow.
5-second rebuttal.
The JLP is certainly an enemy of the truth. Indeed, we have heard them suggest that 200,000 laptops were purchased. That would indicate 2-to-1 ratio, meaning for every 2 children, 1 should have a laptop. I'm asking those watching today, have your child received a laptop? Have you seen anyone receive such a laptop? Indeed, whoever is responsible for purchasing these missing laptops will have to answer under the People's National Party, because we have not seen those laptops. We will ensure that the gadgets are in place, but as we've said before, we build out the last mile that many of the private sector believe is not profitable to build out, so that the persons can get access to internet wherever they are. We will use our technology also for the small schools.
Thank you, Mr. Crawford.
Usage.
Thank you so much, Mr. Crawford. Natalie has the next question, and it goes to Team PNP.
We are in the hurricane season, and each season the authorities face a challenge persuading residents to evacuate some areas when the island is under threat. What strategies would you implement to ensure compliance?
Part of the reason why residents don't want to evacuate is that the poor level of communication and education prior to a storm causes them to be caught unaware. Let's take, for example, this instant year 2025. All across media, we have heard advertisements from the Office of the Prime Minister with sections of budget presentations, and we are midway the Atlantic hurricane season, and not once has ODPEM been given the resources that OPM has for its parallel adjacent political campaign under the guise of public education. The second reason why residents do not want to evacuate is because they are realistically concerned that when they evacuate, the spaces that they are taken to will be substandard. In the next PNP administration, we will build out a series of evacuation centers that will be properly fitted with adequate water for on-site storage, as well as food and access to health, access to other emergency services, so that families feel more safe in bringing their elderly relatives into a space where they are certain that the services and the quality of standard will be there when they evacuate.
Thank you so much. Team JLP, your 45-second rebuttal.
It is clear to us on Team JLP that Raymond is fluent in misdirection, misinformation, and clearly not paying attention to the news of the day. It is the JLP that would have just completed and launched its own Doppler radar, meaning we're no longer depending on foreign sources for our weather forecasting needs. It means this government, the next administration under Andrew Michael Holness, will have accurate information on time and be able to communicate it so to you at home. We're also working with the United Nations CDF program to build modern and safe shelters for you at home, so you can trust the information and trust where you're going to go and be safe during the hurricane season.
Thank you so much, Team JLP. We go to Amoy now, who has a question from social media. Amoy?
All right, so this question comes from Tiana on Instagram. She says, Jamaica's hospitals are overcrowded and under-resourced. Can you explain how your party, if elected to government, will fix this without repeating the delays and bottlenecks of past administrations?
Okay, thank you so much, Amoy. Team PNP, you can answer this question first, to be followed by Team JLP.
So this is a social issues debate, and health is a primary social issue. If you look across to the opposite, the campaign chairman from that party, who has been the Minister of Health for 9 years, must have suspected that members of the public would want to drill down, shall I say, into why the health sector is so poorly managed. Why your relatives at home, when you go to the hospital, can't get a bed. Why you have to take the prescription from the nurse beside your relative's bed and go into the private pharmacy sector to purchase basic medication. Why you have relatives sitting in wheelchairs or in the driveways and the parking lots in the cars that you took them to the hospital with, and still can't get triage, even basic assessment as to the extent of their suffering. It's no wonder, Dr. Tufton, you're not here today. You have chosen to go and hide behind marketing strategies to support, what's her name again? The the Minister of Finance and the Public Services. The People's National Party, Matthew, understands health. We are the ones that modernize the hospitals on the budget and in time. Your reference to Chick V is old and dated. Look at your 9 years and speak to those.
Thank you so much, Team PNP. Team JLP, your response to the question?
Thank you, Tiana. It's a really important question, because I know that we have not reached every community and we have not reached every hospital yet. But the Jamaica Labour Party is undertaking the most ambitious and in fact will be the most effective reconstruction and construction of hospital infrastructure in Jamaica in decades. The Western Child Hospital is under construction, close to completion. The rebuild of Cornwall is also almost almost completed. We're making sure that we focus also on primary health care, making sure that more health centers are renovated and brought closer to you so you don't actually have to go to the hospital. We're adding more doctors and nurses in those healthcare centers, more equipment so that better care can be had closer to you. We're adding more healthcare centers with expanded hours to allow working people to go to the health center after working hours. These are things that we're doing in addition to more operating theatres which are already programmed for next year, for next term, including a new KPH.
Importantly, we've also increased access to medicines under NHF. And we've increased access for our senior citizens through NI Gold and JLP. Under the Jamaica Labour Party, we have taken a comprehensive approach to health infrastructure.
Thank you so much, Team JLP. We have another social media question. Why?
This one is from Matthew Williams. With key parts of the Data Protection Act still not in force and several major data breaches reported this year, many Jamaicans feel their personal information is not adequately protected. How will your government address this growing privacy crisis and rebuild public trust in the protection of citizens' data?
Team JLP, you get to answer this one first.
Data protection is critical as we continue to build out more and more digital systems to ensure efficiency and effectiveness in the pursuit of business, growth, and prosperity. And this is why we have been paying attention to ensuring that implementation of the Act is phased and sensitive to the various stakeholders, ensuring that it's effective when each stage is put in place. We have done more to protect your data and will do more. As we recognize that AI is also being used more, we will ensure that there is an AI blueprint and roadmap, which of course is going to be built out of the very first task force on AI in the Caribbean, which was already established under this administration. We'll also ensure that there is new legislation to protect every Jamaican's face, voice and image from the type of misinformation and negative campaigns that are run by parties like the PNP.
The Data Protection Act was indeed passed by the Jamaica Labour Party. And we are proud that it was passed, and we're happy that the Data Commissioner is now in place to speed up implementation. However, data requires data accuracy. It should be known for all Jamaicans watching that it is this government that gave the highest increase to civil servants. It is this government that insisted that there would be no more wage freezes for teachers, as was commonplace under the People's National Party.
Thank you so much, Team JLP. Team PNP, your response to the question?
The Jamaica Labour Party does not believe in privacy. It was one of their own ministers that says nothing is private. Do you remember? Because I certainly do. But not only that, when one considers the NIDS Act, the National Identification Act, the People's National Party, representing the people of Jamaica, had to take the Jamaica Labour Party to court to protect privacy rights. So the Jamaica Labour Party simply cannot come to you tonight to tell you that they're serious about privacy. Simply not true. The People's National Party, we value your privacy. And it is for that reason why we will train a cadre of data protection experts to work with different sectors so they understand what is in the law, they understand what is to be done, and how they can balance privacy rights. In fact, this will also create a new sector in Jamaica. Damian, don't you agree?
I definitely do agree, Sophia. But also we should remind the public that it was this Prime Minister that suggested that they can track persons who say certain things on social media. It is also this Prime Minister that has proven himself to be highly vindictive and have seen arrest of individuals who have criticized him in any way at any given time. It is also that government that stole sand from the beaches. So let us talk about what that government has done.
Thank you so much, Team PNP. So viewers, we're doing things a little different this evening. We now invite Team PNP to ask a question of Team JLP.
In any decent democracy, where a leader has not been certified by the Integrity Commission, where the leader has been a part of Ponzi schemes and benefited from them, where the leader among members of his cabinet or his party are said to be part of an illicit aid for illegal enrichment, those persons could not be on the ballot. Therefore, why should Jamaica be any different from such decent democracies?
The PNP, we understand, has no answer to the plans, the programs and the achievements of the Jamaica Labour Party. They see their only path to Jamaica House by trying to destroy the reputation of the Prime Minister of Jamaica and others. The Jamaica Labour Party has been the party that has done more for the integrity and anti-corruption framework in this country than any other administration. It is under the PNP that every day, every week you woke up to a new scandal, light bulb, Solutria, NSWMA, Manchester Parish Council, Hanover, KSAMC, you name it, Crook and Anchor. It is under the PNP that Jamaica had the lowest scores under the Corruption Perception Index, and it is under the Jamaica Labour Party that Jamaica has had the highest. Why? Because the independent international experts actually look at the facts and not the steady drumbeat of PNP misinformation and weaponization of processes. There is no report that has found any finding of guilt or illegality on the part of the Prime Minister. There is no finding against the Prime Minister, and the PNP needs to stop telling the lie of 28 bank accounts. It is simply not true.
Thank you so much, Team JLP. Team PNP, your 45-second rebuttal.
It's odd that you say that's not true. Dennis Chung said that not only were it true, that it's inconsequential, that it's normal, he suggested, just as we now figure out he was rehearsing for the job for which the qualifications were waived so that he could get the job. Most of you look for a job. In that case, the job seemed to have looked for and found him. Now, the other things you say about doing the most for the integrity framework, that includes being the only Prime Minister to have taken the Integrity Commission to court, to quash a clause he once bragged that he included as chairman of cabinet. So the lies are on that side, aren't they?
Thank you so much, Team PNP. We now invite Team JLP to ask a question of Team PNP.
You know, lies are an affront to God. Yeah. And Reverend Albert would have taught you that.
Should have.
However, to be clear, the last time the People's National Party was at the wicket, they leveled $60 billion of new taxes on the backs of the Jamaican people. They have said that they will fix a tax to imported food items, which economists have said will increase the cost of living to the poor of Jamaica. Damian has said that he will fund education needs with an increase in GCT. The PNP have fixed a tax to parties. What should the Jamaican people expect by way of taxation from the next People's National Party administration 10, 20 years from now?
Can I go ahead?
Team PNP.
Okay, thank
Please
you.
answer the question.
Thank you. Well, the People's National Party had to take on a rebuilding project in the last Portia Simpson Miller administration. Indeed, never before had the IMF stopped sending money to the Jamaica public or to the Jamaican society before, because it was run asunder by a government that included Andrew Holness and also Audley Shaw as the head of the Ministry of Finance. The People's National Party, then having rebuilt the economy, embarked upon a fiscal policy rules that we implemented to ensure that the country was on the right track. And having put the country on the right track, there is absolutely no need for the People's National Party to engage in further taxations. Indeed, what exists currently as the People's National Party proposals lie greatly within the context of the $360 billion available for governments to decide on what to do. But the $23 billion that we have identified is even less than the overrun for Cornwall Regional. We will therefore not have those overruns. The JLP continue to ask where we'll get the money. We will get the money from the same place that Market Me money came from. We'll get the same money from the same place that paying off Ramsharak from Petrojam came from. We'll get the money from the same place that the buying of 200 used cars that we did not receive come from. We will get the money from the same budget that exists for the people.
Thank you so much, Team PNP. Team JLP, your rebuttal.
No doubt you will get this money from the same place that the failed Heroes Circle wall came from. But it is simply inaccurate to suggest that the international community cut off Jamaica. We were able to draw down on loans from the World Bank and the IDB right before we demitted office. But to be clear, it is this government that has cut debt to 62% of GDP. It is this government that has cut poverty rates to its lowest ever. It is this government that has ensured that the unemployment rate has gone to record lows of 3.2%. There is work to do. There is no doubt that there is improvements to be made in sectors. However, this government has the credibility to do it and will do so in the next term.
Thank you so much, Team JLP. Ladies and gentlemen, we now go to the closing statements, and based on the earlier coin toss decision, Team JLP will go first. And you can begin your 2 minutes.
My fellow Jamaicans, Jamaica is safer and stronger with the JLP. We reduced the murders by 43%, created 250,000 jobs, and we delivered the largest increase in the minimum wage in our history. We gave our doctors, nurses, teachers, police, and other public sector officers the largest pay increase, despite COVID, Hurricane Beryl, droughts, and global uncertainty. And remember, for 8 consecutive years, we did this without any burden of new taxes on you, the Jamaican people. Now we know that prices are rising globally. And that is why we're not just focused on increasing wages, but rather creating better conditions for growth. 33 quarters of growth, save and except for COVID. And still giving support to the most vulnerable. This is the JLP way. We care. Now compare. Under the PNP, wage freezes, heavy taxes, no relief of social pension for Miss Ivy, no relief for the vendor, the taxi operator, the housekeeper, just tax after tax after tax. And we heard Damien and Dayton already talking about taxes. So are you really willing to suffer the indignity of more taxes under the PNP? No way. With the Jamaica Labour Party, increased pension, better agriculture, better health infrastructure, enhanced education. This is our commitment. That's why we say to you, reject the reckless PNP promises. Choose performance. Choose Jamaica. Choose the JLP. The Jamaica Labour Party delivers, and we are committed to doing even more for you. On September 3, remember, put your X beside the bell.
Thank you so much, Team JLP. Team PNP, please go ahead with your closing statements.
One thing you could not have said is spell Jamaica, because we already know you can't. Jamaica has evolved to be one of the world's most recognized brands globally. Yet too many members of the Jamaican family live in standards and conditions that are, simply put, deplorable. On September 3, 2025, we all have an opportunity to put in office a government led by Mark Golding that places the people of the country and every member of the Jamaican family at the center of our policies and programs. In that Jamaica, imagine that you have become unwell and you go to the hospital, and there are beds, there are CAT scans, there are MRIs, there is medication and tools to save your lives available right there in the hospital. In that Jamaica, our nurses, teachers, firefighters, and police officers have not just better tools to do their jobs professionally, but also better conditions of work and better salaries with overtime benefits not taxed. In that Jamaica, whether you're up on the corner as a youth, or you're working in a salon as a nail technician or a barber, or a deal with the eyelashes or tattoos, your Jamaica becomes not just the land of your birth, but the land in which your dreams can be achieved within your lifetimes. In the Jamaica led by Mark Golding, more affordable houses will be provided so that mothers and fathers can better care for and protect the members of their own family. On September 3, it's not just about a regular election. It is about creating a Jamaica that you at home can love and be a part of the national success that will be gained. Vote PNP on September 3.
Thank you very much to both our teams. Now, in the good spirit of the debates, we now invite both teams to shake hands. And as they do so, I just want to say, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our first debate between Pernell Charles Jr. of the JLP, Kamina Johnson-Smith, and Matthew Samuda for Team JLP, and Damian Crawford, Sophia Fraser-Binns, and Raymond Price for the People's National Party. Join us again Tuesday, August 26 at 9 p.m. for the debate focusing on the economy, which for the first time will be a team debate between Team JLP and Team PNP. Audience, you can clap now. Thanks for joining us, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks to our production and funding partners, and most of all, our viewers and listeners all across Jamaica and the diaspora. I'm Janella Precious. Good night.